so this is math lesson 10, and we are going to be practicing putting together our dimes, our nickels, and pennies. I did yesterday's lesson out of order, so we did count some dimes, nickels, and pennies on our work from yesterday. Y'all bear with me while I get all this together for a second, okay? So let's go ahead and look. We wouldn't have to look yet. So we know we count dimes by tens, and we know how to count by tens. We've been doing that since kindergarten. And then we count nickels by fives. We know how to count by fives because we've been doing that since kindergarten. And then we know how to count pennies because we've been doing that since kindergarten too. So we're practicing counting by our tens, our fives, and our ones, because that's dimes, nickels, and pennies. Then we're practicing putting them together. So if you open your math book to page 19, go ahead and tear out page 19 and 20 and put your name and your date at the top. And you can pause the video while you do that. Okay, so if we look at section 1 at the top, it says write the value. So you're simply going to count your pennies and write how many there are. You're going to count your nickels and write how many, count your dimes and write how many. And then in letter D, go ahead and look at letter D. You're going to count your dimes, nickels, and pennies combined. So if you look at letter D, look how many dimes you have. You're going to count by dimes or by tens 3 times. And then you're going to count by fives or by nickels 1 time. Then you're going to go into counting by ones 3 times. So we'll do this one together. Y'all ready? Point to your dimes as we count them. 10, 20, 30. Go to our nickel, 35. Point to our penny, 36, 37, 38. So we have 38 cents. And then look at letter E. Letter E, you're going to count dimes 1 time, nickels 3 times, and pennies 1 time. So you're going to count that on your own and write your answer on your paper. And you can pause the video now, or you can watch the whole video and then come back and do it after the whole video, whichever you want to do. Section number 2, round to the nearest 10. So when we round to the nearest 10, we look in the ones place. If our digit is 0, 1, 2, 3, or 4, our digit in the tens place is where we're going to round. If our digit in the ones place is 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9, then we have to add 1 to our digit in the tens place. Okay, so let's look at it. We have 92. So we look at the 2, the digit in the ones place, and we're going to think 2 is 0, 1, 2, 3, or 4. So my tens place will just be what it is, 90. Or you can think of it as 92 closer to 90 or closer to 100. Remember, anything on this side of 5 is going to be closer to the number it is. Anything 5 or after is going to be closer to the bigger 10. 61, look at your digit in your ones place. It is a 1. So that tells us our tens will be the same. It will be 60. Or you can think of it. Is 61 closer to 60? Or is it closer to 70? And it is closer to 60. Look at 146. We look at our digit in the ones place. That is a 6. Our digit in the tens place is a 4. So 6, that's more than 5. That's 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9. So we'll add 1 to our digit in the tens place. So what's 4 plus 1? It's 5. So we'll write our 1 for our hundreds place. We'll change our tens place to 5 because we rounded up. And our ones place becomes 0. So 146 rounds to 150. And you can think, is 146 closer to 140, or is it closer to 150? And it is closer to 150. So you will do the same for letters D and 11. Round to the nearest 10. Then in section 3, you're going to round to the nearest 100. So when we round to the nearest 100, we'd have to look at the place behind it, which is the tens place. So that is where we will look now to decide if we're going to add 1 to our digit in the hundreds place, or if we're just going to leave that digit alone. So in letter A, we have 250. Our digit in the tens place is a 5. That 5, if it's 5 or above, we have to add 1 to our digit in the hundreds place. So 250 rounds to 300. Or you can think in your mind, is 250 closer, because we're rounding to hundreds now, is that closer to 200 or closer to 300? And remember, anything 5 and up is closer to the bigger number, so it would be 300. Look at letter B, 360. So we're rounding to the nearest hundred, so we have to look at the digit in the tens place, the 6. So the 6 is 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9. So we're going to add 1 to our digit in the hundreds place. So 3 plus 1 is 4. So 360 rounds to 400. Or in your mind you can think, is 360 closer to 300 or is it closer to 400? You can think of it either way, or if you want to think of the number way first and then check your answer maybe by thinking, is it closer to this number or this number? Whatever works for you, okay? So you will finish that up on your own. Look at section 4. In section 4 it says write the answers. You guys have this coming up on a test or a quiz coming up. Actually the quiz is today. I don't know if your parents are able to get the quiz picked up for today or not. I don't know if you have it at home, anyways. But so if not, you can either pick it up later this week or you can just do it next week, okay, and turn it in at that point. So section 4, letter A, 1 foot is how many inches? Remember the toes on the end of the ruler? 1 foot is 12 inches. Very good. Letter B, 1 yard is how many inches? So you're going to have 12 rulers end to end. How many inches? Not 12, I'm sorry. You're going to have 3 rulers end to end to make up your 1 yard. So how many inches are in a yard? 36. Very good. 1 hour is how many minutes? 60. Good job. 1 day is how many hours? 24. Good job. 1 yard is how many feet? 3. Good job. And 1 minute is how many seconds? 60. Very good. Remember, I have my little sing-songy. 60 seconds in a minute, 60 minutes in an hour. All right, go ahead and look at page 19. On page 19, we're going to talk about writing money amounts. So whenever we are writing money amounts, we have to remember that after our decimal point, we have our dollar sign. And then after our decimal point, we always have to have 2 digits. Now we can have as many digits in front of our decimal point as we want. But after the decimal point, we have to have 2 digits. So if we are writing the amount $26.53, we would write our 26 in front of the decimal point right after the dollar sign. $26, the decimal point says and then we write our cents. 53 cents. So that is how we write using our decimal point. So let's go ahead and look in section 5, and it says write these numbers as money amounts. So if you see, you have in your book, if I understand from my book, 2-9, this is what you have in your book. Now they want you to write it as dollar amounts. So the first thing that you're going to do is remember, my last 2 digits are my decimal point digits. So count over 2 digits. Put a decimal point, go out to the end, and put a dollar sign. So you have $29.52. In letter B, it looks like you have 6, 8, 5. So come over to your ones place, count over 2 digits for your decimal point, and put your dollar sign in the front. And now you have $6.85. And let's do one more together. Actually, let's skip letter C. You can do that on your own. And let's look at letter D. So we have the numbers 3, 7, 8, 2, 9. So even though there's more numbers, it works the same. We'll count over 2 places, 1, 2 for our decimal point. We'll go out to the front and just add our dollar sign. So we have $378.29. All right, so you will complete anything we didn't do in 5, you'll do on your own. Look at section 6. It says use a dollar sign and decimal point to write these amounts of cents. So guys, it works the same way if we're just talking about cents. If you see 29 and they're telling you to use a dollar sign and decimal point, of course you'll just count over 1, 2 places for your decimal point, and you'll just put a dollar sign in front of it. Even though there's not any dollars there, that's how you write it, using a dollar sign and decimal point. Okay, so that actually was letter A. And then letter B, you have a 30 on your paper. So to write that as cents, using a decimal point and dollar sign, you count over 1, 2, put your decimal point, and put your dollar sign in front of it. And then we have 30 cent. All right? So you will complete that on your own. Section 7, you'll use your thinker, and you'll write those using dollar signs and cent, your dollar sign and decimal point. And the rest of your story, the rest of your paper, you will complete on your own, okay? When you're done, if you are a remote student, put your math sheet straight into your folder to come back to school on Friday. If you are a hybrid student, put your math sheet straight into your red folder, okay?